Hey, welcome to another episode of the Goalpost, and I'm joined by my compadre, Mongameli Tandani. What's
Hola,
happening,
hola,
dog?
hermano. What's up, bro? How are you?
I'm good at you,
I'm
bruh.
too good. I'm too good, bro. I'm very excited and honored to be on your show, bro.
I know, no doubt, bro. You've been someone who I've always wanted to have on the show, but I mean, of course, everything was purely circumstantial. But at
Yeah,
least now you are here, and welcome, bro. Welcome. How you doing? You good?
I'm very good, bro. I'm very good. I'm very happy that things are going back to normal slowly but surely.
Yeah,
Um, and I'm excited for the festive season.
yeah.
But other than that, man, I'm good. I'm good. How are you, bro?
Yeah. Dog, yeah, in the festive season, we'll be drinking apple cider now.
And the H2O, bro.
That's what we'll be drinking, dog. We different, dog. We're not out here trying to get wasted. We trying to, be law-abiding citizens. Even if
Yes, sir.
Cyril, even if President Cyril can close up the shops, it's fine. Tina grand. But yeah, my G, like let's get into this, bro. I mean, you are like the best soccer player I know personally, from SA. And, when I look at all of my friends, considering that I come from like a hood that's filled with ballers, but whether I'd say you are the best, and only because of you being a progressive player. You're a player who normally goes straight. You're not there
Yes, sir.
to dribble and stuff like that. You dribble when you have to, but at the
Yeah,
end of the
yeah.
day, it's all about the end product. And so I just wanted to ask you. I mean, you're a person who played in Spain in Malaga. Let me even share pictures. I mean, dog, I even have pictures of you here, dog. Like, you know, uh,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So yeah, can you give us the culture within Spain? When you compare it to SA, how is it, bro? Like that's pretty much my
Um,
first question for you.
I think the one word that I can use as an umbrella term is pride. The
Yeah,
Spanish are very proud of who they are, of where they are geographically, even within their own country, and what they do on a day-to-day basis becomes their routine, and they're very proud of it. And they take pride, even from the men who sweep the street, all the way to the men who are like in charge of
yeah,
like big corporations. Everyone's very proud of what they do, and they love it, man. And their homes are very like
yeah.
their homes are named. So for example, it would be Casa de Tandani, like
Wow.
everybody's got their name in front of their home, and it's envious to see, that pride in being Spanish. Everyone's got their flag on their balconies.
Yeah,
A lot of people have Spanish tattoos, like the national flag on them. They're very proud, bro, of their culture
yeah.
and their food, and they don't waver from it, man. They don't waver from it.
I know that's cool. But when were you welcomed though? That's my thing mostly. Were you welcomed with open arms by the Spanish? They didn't, you know, mistreat you in any way. I mean, yeah, like I just want to know that.
I think the benefit was that I went to a very big city. Like I was in
Yeah.
Malaga, which is huge. It's nothing compared to Madrid or to
Are you for
Barcelona.
real, dog? Like
Bro, like
for me.
Madrid is on another level. When I went to Madrid in 2018, I felt like I was small, man. I couldn't believe how big that city was.
Yeah.
But where I was very big, and because the city of Malaga is very big, like I said, and very famous, there were a lot of foreign people there. And where
Yeah.
I stayed, which was Riviera, there were a lot of English, British-speaking people.
Yeah.
So it was cool to be amongst other foreigners within a foreign country. So I was welcomed, and if anything, people were intrigued about my story, what brought me to Spain. And when I
Yeah.
said football, they were even more shocked. And it was very welcoming. I was very fortunate because you hear negative things, but fortunately enough, I didn't encounter anything negative.
Yeah.
The academy and the teams I played for, there were also lots of foreigners, so it was a
Yeah.
very welcome, like a welcome, what do you call it, change room.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
very.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
was happy to be there. Yeah.
Yeah. And bro, stylistically, I look at the Spanish. They they pretty much position. I think it's because they small in stature. They are
Yes,
pretty
sir.
much all about tactics. So I just wanted you to like break it down for us as as the difference between the way we play here in SA as compared to what they do in Spain, because clearly there's something that they're doing right in Spain that we aren't doing right in SA.
Yeah, of course, of course.
Yeah,
Like you say, man, I think based off their stature, they know physically that they may not be able to run for the whole 90 minutes. So what they do is they make the ball work,
yeah,
and they don't work as much as the ball does, you know. And in that, and I saw it from a very young stage because I went to watch the under 12s for Malaga play, and
yeah,
the way that their training sessions are conducted is almost to a level of a professional. Obviously, they don't. The intensity is very different, but the way that they are trained is very tactical. They move the ball, positioning, how they position their body just to receive a ball. It was very eye opening for me because I feel like everything starts from a very young age, and because of that development, it'll help the national team do better. And unfortunately, a lot of African countries, including South Africa, don't have
yeah,
that development. I think a lot of our stars or a lot of our athletes, it's very talent based. So it's not a lot
yeah,
of grooming. It's you have talent, okay, cool, now you can play the sport. There's not really it's the coaching and the molding and the development. For me personally, I don't feel like it's there in Africa. And it's very frustrating because there is talent. There is for some countries there
indeed.
are resources, and it's just I just wish somebody could take kids under their wing. I'd love to be one of those people who can take a few kids
Yeah,
under my wing and mold them and mold them to their strong suits. Not try and make them who I was as a player, or not try and make them into other styles of players. Trying to like develop their football to their strengths. So I think that's the one thing that I picked up when I was in Spain, man. And the football,
yeah.
it's amazing, man.
I know that's crazy, bro. I mean, you played for a team that I think Isco as well as Santi Catola, two of
Yeah,
like they hella technical. We
yeah,
like we very much aware of the technical ability, and I like how you say that you are trying you if you were in a situation where you could like help kids, reach that level, you'll always look at their strengths instead of looking at your strengths.
yes,
Which is I feel that's where we get it wrong here in SA, is that we're trying to play long balls, and I mean we're not that tall, we're
yeah.
not blessed with height, we're not
It's
like a
not our style.
Nigeria
Yeah,
or actually West African team, because West African players are bigger in stature and they're
yeah.
much more physical than we are, and so now we're trying to mimic their style, and that of course affects
It just
our
doesn't work
national
for us,
team.
man.
Yeah, it really doesn't, bro. It really doesn't,
Like
bro.
like
Yeah,
if you look at when we won the AFCON, right? You had Dr.
yeah,
Kumalo, he was standing on the
yeah,
ball expressing himself the South African way. And if you go to
yeah,
any hood, any South African game, and you see how people play, it's very different to how you see the PSL play, and
yeah,
there's a big disconnect, and that disconnect sometimes confuses players because they go from playing their style of football to semi-pro level where they're expected
yeah,
to play a completely different style of play, and it hurts. They get injured. It hurts their style of play. It destroys
yeah,
their confidence. I've seen it happen multiple times because, as you know, man, I've been at
yeah,
multiple teams. I've trialed at multiple clubs, and
yeah,
all I've seen was the big disconnect between who the player is, his own identity, and what the
yeah,
coach wants based on, for example, what they watched on Champions League or the
yeah,
PSL. And that disconnect eventually ends up hurting the national team. And that's why I think South Africa just keeps on, going backwards in terms of when it comes to international competitions. And it sucks to see that, man, because I want
yeah,
us to
yeah,
progress. I'd love us to win an AFCON. I'd love us to go further in the World Cup.
yeah,
Um, I hate that when I was in Spain or when I was in France or when I was in Netherlands, the only thing people remembered or know me from is that we hosted the World Cup. They don't know any
yeah.
of our players, or they know
Hey,
Superior Shabalala, which is
oh
amazing.
yeah, because of the celebration. I mean, they
Because of the
still do that
celebration and
celebration.
the
Yeah,
goal. But
yeah,
other than that, I want them to, like, for example, that's another example, X. Like,
yeah,
why is it that today, right now, as a soccer player, I can't name my starting 11 for Bafana because it's being chopped and changed. Players
yeah,
are coming and going, whereas I can name the starting 11 for, I'm sure, 5 to 10 European teams,
yeah,
easily, because they've been developed. They stay there. They know what is expected of them tactic wise, fitness wise. Whereas in our country, we started hiring foreign coaches. They came with their
Yeah.
own identity,
Philosophies. Yeah.
got rid of the players that we were so used to. It was just sad to see, man, and it's still sad to see.
And that's so true because I mean you pretty much answered half of the question that I was gonna ask you next, yeah, but like I mean from a solution, like I feel like we need to start being more solution oriented instead of us always complaining. Because I feel like at times I tend to always like complain about our football, and instead
Yeah.
of me coming up with solutions, like on your end, where do you think like SA can improve, as far as getting us back to the good old days. Because I mean, we were once a giant
We were
in football.
respected in the world, not just in Africa,
Exactly.
man.
I mean,
Yeah.
Lucas Radebe was captain at Leeds. Who's this guy? Umabizela was captain at Tottenham. I
Quentin
mean, Steve,
Fortune was at Manchester United,
you see
you
what I'm
know.
saying? And who's this guy? Sean Bartlett. I think he scored the goal of the season for Charlton Athletic. I think
Benny
in
McCarthy
'03.
won Champions League with Porto.
You see what I'm saying, bro? Like we Hans Fonk
Things have
at
changed.
thingy, Hans Fonk at remember Hans Fonk, the
Yeah,
goalkeeper. He
yeah,
played for Ajax Amsterdam. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like we had a plethora of players playing all over the world, like and in big leagues. And now, I mean, it's just looking, it's looking bad. It's looking very dire for our nation. But where do you think like SA
Um,
can like improve? Yeah,
I think everything starts from the top. As
yeah,
yeah, it all starts from the top. If you look at, for example, a football club like Wits, right?
mm-hmm.
Wits was the biggest producer of academy players in Africa because the
Yeah,
academy was that big. People from all over Africa would come to Wits just to develop their football. But small things like financial issues within the club, business related issues, crumbled the club, thus affecting the football. And as you know, if you look at the Premier League, if you look at um, UEFA Nations League, money is also a
yeah,
big aspect which is running football.
yeah. It
And
is.
if you look at the resources of our country being a third world country, those things have to come in, those things have to come up, those things have to be spoken about, and those are factors that you can't run away from. For example, I'm in Free State right now, and there are
Yeah,
players here who are very talented, Kolani. They are very
yeah,
good. But lack of resources is stopping them from going on trial at certain clubs or training a certain way. For example, I train with a few kids here, and I'm the only one who has a ball, and that
mm,
that crushes my heart because there's times when, for example, I was injured and I can't go train with them, and they have to come ask me for a ball, and it's like, man, imagine if I wasn't here, you guys wouldn't have a ball. So just to answer your question, sorry, I was rambling. It's
yeah,
that everything starts at the top. You need people who are football minded at the top, and who are worrying about tomorrow as well as today, not worrying
yeah,
about what's going to go in their pocket, how we look and stuff like that. Because if you develop a child or if you develop a team properly, it will go on and reach success. But in our country, there's too many chopping and changing based on finances, based on who you know, based on where you come from.
ish,
I was once at Free State Stars, and I
yeah,
was in the clubhouse, and all the boys from Johannesburg were in one room, all the boys from Venda were in one room, and the kit manager, he once came in and he shouted at all of us, and he was like, "I don't like this tribalism. This tribalism must stop. Everybody
yeah,
must be." And no one took him seriously, but I heard him. I understood what he was saying because he was dropping facts. Those things are holding us back. Just
yeah,
because you're not Zulu, that shouldn't mean that you can't go play for Amazulu or
yeah,
Maritzburg United. Just because you can't speak, for example, Afrikaans or Sesotho, doesn't mean you can't play for Celtics or for Ajax. So it's everything outside of football that is affecting football. And for me, I think South Africa is suffering from that so much. And back then, I don't think it was that much of an issue. I don't know
yeah.
why,
I
and it's
think
frustrating.
yeah. I think I know why back then. Sorry to interrupt you there. Ish. I'm so unprofessional. I'm so sorry,
Talk to me. Talk
bro.
to me.
Yeah,
Talk to
but
me.
I think the reason why as well, tribalism wasn't much of a thing back then is because already there was the apartheid as well in the mix.
Yes.
I think
Yes. The history.
yeah, the issue was apartheid more than tribalism. Since we moved
Yes.
past apartheid, now tribalism has entered the fray. I even feel like even roles in the higher ranks, it's based on at times where you come from and what
Yeah.
tongue, what language you speak. I
Yeah.
mean, SA Gakulu is predominantly like the most spoken African language is Zulu. I mean, I
Yeah.
feel like anywhere you go, like in SA, you will find someone who can speak it, you know. Whereas if you look at Venda and Tsonga, not a lot of people can speak Venda and
Yeah.
Tsonga in
Yeah.
SA. It's few and far in between, you know. But you know, every taxi rank you land at, everyone can speak
Zulu.
Zulu. Everyone, even with me, when I went to the Val, they predominantly speak Sutu, but like I was still able to adapt because a lot of them can still hear isiZulu. It's not like
Yeah. Yeah.
a foreign tongue, you know. But I do get where you're coming from, Zweli, and that's pretty much what's holding us back. And I also do see who OFS chats, you know, the state of SA football is sad. Because the reason why it's sad is because we were once that great nation, dog. You know,
We're,
it's
we're up here,
yeah,
man.
we're at the top of the world. I mean, yeah, even in the world, bro. Like I feel like I wasn't fearful if Bafana played like France. You know, I knew that
Definitely, bro.
would
Yeah.
put up a fight. You know, it wasn't like I remember even in the '02 World Cup, we were in the same group as Paraguay, Slovenia, and Spain. And the first game we drew 2-2 with Paraguay. After
Yeah. I
Paraguay
remember
took,
that
yeah, they led 2-0 and we came back and
too.
we
Yeah.
made it 2-2. Then we played Slovenia in the second round and we beat them 1-0. Siabonga Numvete scored a header, a rather
Stop.
fortuitous header as well, you know, because it hit his like it hit his
Yeah. It's just like head
shoulder.
shoulder.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. A goal is a
Goes
goal,
a
just
goal,
as long
brother.
as it's legal. Yeah. And then
Yeah.
against Spain, I think we lost 3-1 or 3-2. Gasca Mendieta, remember Mendieta, bro,
I
from
remember him
Spain.
from
Did
PlayStation days.
some fire free kick against Andre Aranza, who was playing for Fulham at the time in the Premier
Yeah.
League. Like, listen to that, bro. Like, those were the standards that we were at, you know.
Yeah.
And it's crazy how we've like digressed. We've digressed to a point where even our kid, we don't even have like a young Nike or Adidas sponsor now.
Lecoq.
It's Lecoq, but Lecoq ain't too bad. But I'm just,
Lecoq ain't
it's not.
bad, man.
It ain't bad,
Not
man. It
bad.
ain't bad. It's just that it's not common in football, you know. It's not
Yeah,
like
and it's
a
not Nike, bro. It's not Nike or
yeah,
Adidas.
yeah.
Another thing, man, like
Yeah,
um if you think about what the question that you asked me, um buying of statuses. I was on
yeah,
trial at Bloemfontein Celtics, bro,
yeah,
and I think everything was going well. And I literally woke up to news that the club was sold, you know?
yes,
Stuff like
yeah,
that. It shocks
mm,
players, it hurts players that were about
yeah,
to get first team contracts, players like myself who were going to enter into the second team. It
yeah,
just it pulls back our football so much, man, and it hurts because stuff like that demotivates you. And it's not that it's unheard of. I know some other countries do sell statuses, do sell clubs, but
yeah,
I'm only focusing on South Africa, and it just hurts
yeah.
our football, and that's my issue with South Africa, man.
And I personally feel like we can get back to those levels, bro. I really
I
think we
agree.
can. It's just we just need the hierarchy to, you know, assist us in getting back to that
Yeah,
level, you know. Because even with
I agree.
OFS chats, his name is actually Sway. Like he's my homie from the
What
bar,
up,
you know,
Sweet?
like yeah. Yeah, so basically he does say that do you think we should have our billionaires and millionaires buy into our local clubs the same way uh you see going on in Europe? And I mean that's pretty much what's happening in the Premier League. Look at Newcastle United. Newcastle
Yeah,
United are
yeah, yeah,
owned by, hey man, and Newcastle have crazy owners, bro. Like I wish they could buy up Orlando Pirates, you know what I mean? And just
yeah. Let's
and just
transform our
trans-
whole club and take us to where
yeah,
we were. Yo, Sundowns is
ex-
dominating the league, bro.
dude. It's bad, right? It's crazy, but that's
Um,
another topic of conversation that we can have. Yeah, but what did you
yes,
want
sir.
to say? Something? Yeah,
I listen. I strongly believe in investing in sports in general
yeah,
because sport investing in sports helps kids, helps resources, helps the brand of the sport, helps so much.
Yeah,
So yes, I honestly do encourage billionaires and millionaires buying football clubs. Look what Sundowns is doing, you know.
yeah,
Chiefs has been bought by a billionaire
yeah.
doing the
And
thing.
Chiefs are owned by Prime Media, dog.
Yes, Prime
Yeah,
Media. You're
yeah,
actually the
Prime
one who
Media.
told me that, man.
Yeah,
You
yeah. A
actually
lot of
told me
people aren't
that. Yeah.
aware of that it's Prime
Yeah,
Media that owns
you always teaching me something, X. That's why I always
it.
watch your show, man. So I always watch your
Yeah.
show, man.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But yeah, I think if a millionaire slash a billionaire does buy a club and he still has
Yeah,
a football orientated or a football MO, it will help the
yeah.
club. Like personally, I feel like it was shocking what happened with, for example, with Royal AM buying Celtics.
Dude.
That was just shocking for me because they had to deal with so much. They had to deal with the Royal AM players, the Celtics players. How are we gonna make? A lot of players came back to Free State. I was at the Zweli Park, bro. First team players came
Ish.
back and they were like, "Dude, I don't have a contract anymore." You know. Whereas when you
Yo,
look at
dog.
Europe, when a big millionaire or billionaire buys a club, bro, he still keeps the club the way it is. He may chop and change um, personnel, but the club is still trying to reach certain goals in terms of football. So that's
Yeah,
my only thing.
and that's true. And another thing is that the club also doesn't relocate because with Celtics right now, Free State pretty much don't have a team. Come to think of
They
it in the
don't.
PSL,
They
and
don't.
that's messed up, bro. It really is. It really is hurting like our football because now the team Real AM is currently based in Durban. So now in
Yeah.
KZN you've got Maritzburg United, you have Royal AM, and you've got the Amazulu. You see what
Yeah.
I'm
Three
saying?
teams. Free State has
Yeah,
zero.
whereas Free State has zero. So for me, I feel like it's up to the hierarchy to also say that if you want to buy a status of a club, the club needs to stay where it is. It ain't moving.
Exactly.
You as the owners are the ones that have to move. We don't see Newcastle United moving over to Saudi Arabia, to
Oh,
Mecca.
what a gem.
You see what I'm
Thank you,
saying?
X.
Yeah, I'm just saying like
Those are facts, my friend.
yeah, I was even having this convo with my dad as well. That this is the reason why our football is kind of digressing. Actually, not even kinda is digressing is because of our hierarchy. They're
Yes,
not
sir.
there to implement rules, to ensure that our football is protected. And even with Mayhem TV, he's like he even says current South African football hurts. When I was younger, nations like Belgium were basically non-existent, and that is so true. You
It
know,
is. It
yeah.
is.
Now all of a
Yeah.
sudden we've got Belgium have so many ballers all over the
Yeah.
world. I mean, they are a big nation in the sense that in World Cups they even favorites, even though we all know that should they meet a team like a France or even a Spain or Italy, it would be a bit
Yeah,
too hard,
they'll get knocked out.
difficult for them. But what's nice is that they expectations and yeah, the fans' expectations. Like every time Belgium go into a tournament, and if you're from Belgium, you're like, we're gonna win the World Cup. You're not
Yeah.
going there just to make up the numbers. It's we are winning the World Cup, because we've
It's
got your
mentality,
Kevin De
X.
Bruyne.
It's mentality. These
Yeah,
these
bro.
guys these guys are
Yeah,
professional. They are goal driven. They know what's expected of them as athletes. I
yeah,
don't I'd never call out people, but if you look at our South African athletes, we're not mentally ready for what we go through. You have players, I won't mention names, who take off their shirt and throw it into the crowd when they're angry at the coach. Stuff like that, man. It's just you
I
know who
know
I'm
what you're
talking
talking
about. Stuff
about.
like that is just it's discouraging for us as fans, for us as players. For imagine a kid seeing that, he's gonna think when I train at the under 10s, I can act that way. No, bro.
Yeah,
A country like Belgium has your De Bruynes, your Lukaku's who have gone through so much and have still soldiered on because of their mentality and
yeah.
professionalism.
Yeah, no, that's true, bro. And that is so true, dog. And I mean, Belgium is filled with like Lukaku, for instance. Lukaku is his father's from the DRC, so he is from the Democratic Republic of Congo originally, but
Yeah.
you see him fit in so well with the likes of your Kevin De Bruyne's and your Eden Hazards of this world.
Yeah.
There's no tribalism in any way. It's all about
If you can
us
play the game,
winning. Yeah,
that's all they want. If
yeah,
you can
yeah,
play
yeah,
the
yeah,
game,
yeah, yeah.
you respect the game, that's also what I wanted to say about Spain, man. They respect the
Yeah,
sport. I remember my roommate Eunice. I think you had a
yeah,
picture of me and him up there.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, you know Eunice. He once for
yeah,
breakfast he once ate Nutella in front of everyone, and everyone was so upset. You know, small things like that. It's
yeah,
just mentality. It's just how you conduct yourself. I've been out with you, and we've seen soccer players out, and I'm like, man, don't you have a game on
yeah. Turning
Saturday?
up with us, dog. Yeah, like
Yeah,
they were,
and I'm
hey,
like, don't you
dog.
have a game on
Yeah,
Saturday? That's my friend Eunice.
yeah,
You know, he was eating
yeah, yeah.
Nutella
That's
once,
Eunice.
and everybody shouted
Yeah,
at him.
yes, right, yes. And where is he from, Eunice? Is he from Algeria? Yeah, you
Eunice
did
was born
mention.
in France, but he's
Yeah.
Algerian. Probably also one
Oh
of the
yes.
most talented players I've ever played with. Um,
Yeah.
in terms of Africans, when it comes to Moroccans and Algerians, I have so much respect for them, man. They ball hard, bro.
Yeah, and you pretty much that was like the next question I was gonna ask you. Like, Zweli, bro, why are you taking my questions, bro? I was
I'm in
gonna
your
ask you,
mind.
like, since you said, yeah, you're in my mind, bro. Like, since you did say that you were in a city that had a lot of foreigners, and even in the
Yeah,
camp, there was a lot of foreigners. I was gonna ask you which nationality like dominates in football. You've just said Morocco. You've just mentioned Algeria. And I mean, even when you look at Algeria, Zinedine Zidane as well, Algerian. Karim
Benzema,
Benzema, Algerian. Remember David Trezeguet back in the day?
Trezeguet, Algerian,
Trezeguet,
Mahrez.
yeah, Algerian.
Um,
Maris, bro.
what's his
It's
name? Is
like
it Ben Rama? I think not Ben Rama.
yeah, Ben Rama
Wait,
is, I think, yeah, Ben Rama from
he's
West Ham,
Moroccan.
right? You talk about
Yeah, he's
it's
Moroccan.
I'm not between the two countries. Like I'm not too sure with Ben Rama is
Yeah.
from. I think he is
Um,
Moroccan. I think he's Moroccan. Yeah,
yeah, he's Moroccan.
yeah,
So okay,
yeah,
internationally, I'd have to say, and
yeah,
you have had a me and you always have this conversation. I think France
yeah,
produces extremely able players.
yeah,
I will say Spain because they're extremely technical and
yeah,
they can withstand the test of time. If you look at Iniesta, if you look at Xavi, if you look at
dude.
Busquets, he's still playing. You know, they can stand the test of time,
And
and
he's
not for
still
anything
and
but what
Busquets
they're
is still
doing.
giving you yeah. Yeah, no, I was just saying Busquets still gives you seven out of 10 performances on a consistent basis,
Stop,
like standard. That's
stop.
what you get from him.
He's extremely
Yeah,
underrated. And the third
yeah,
country, and this is a tough one for me, man, because I love
yeah,
Brazil, but I feel like their style of play has changed so much. But I'll say Brazilians. So those
yeah.
three countries for me, man.
Yeah, I see. But for me, I just think Brazilians are hella stiff, bro. We've had this discussion. I just feel
Yes,
like the futsal, since futsal in Brazil is dying out, bro. Like even the talent that they produce is not the same. Like right
yeah,
now, for me, the last flair player that they have is Neymar. Come to think
yes.
of it, it's Neymar because William
There's a boy
isn't.
from Ajax. There's a boy from
Yeah,
Ajax. His name's Anthony. That boy
yeah.
is also
He's
he's
got
very
flair now.
skillful, man.
I need to
He's
take
yo
him on.
Umnandi boy. Umnandi Umnandi.
I
But
need
you're
to,
all right, and that
yeah,
speaks to what we were speaking about South Africa. They've changed
yeah,
their identity to try and
dude,
adapt to Europe based on small things like money, trying to opportunities. Brazil's a third world country in my eyes, you
yeah,
know.
they are,
So
they are,
they,
they are, yeah,
so they're also trying to, reach out and grab the opportunities that they can. And they saw that the only way that they can do that is to change their style of football. And if anything, it's hurt the national team. The last time they did anything on an international stage was like when? 20
damn.
no. Oh,
It
oh
was
eight or six.
2002. Yeah,
Listen to that.
2002. That's the last World Cup they won. But of course,
That's
Copa Americas, they still winning them, because
yeah,
of the
yeah,
lack
yeah.
of competition within South America. Because it's either Brazil or Argentina. But I
Argentina.
mean, in
Yeah,
recent times, Chile as well. I mean, Alexis Sanchez has two Copa
true,
Americas. So
true, true.
yeah, man.
Vidal.
Like yeah. Vidal, you see what I'm saying? Yeah. There's a person who has a question for you, Zweli. It's like question to Mongameli. What is the difference in terms of young development between SAT ski and Abo rugby slash cricket? Yeah. So basically
Woo.
saying it's a very crazy question, but yeah.
Bro, I think the question has
yeah.
been answered within the question. It has to do with
Yeah.
race, man. Like
Yeah.
um I feel like other races, whether it's white people with cricket and rugby or Indian people with cricket, they spot the talent and they develop the talent unbiased. If the
Mhm.
child is able, they are willing to put in the time, help with the resources and everything. Whereas in our country, or with our race of black people, we look at how to benefit ourselves. You know, um, I'll speak to a situation where I know of another situation. Sorry, another player who had to pay to get where he is now. And
Mm.
personally, I don't think he's a good football player, but he's within the PSL. You know, small things like
Eesh.
that, small things like that are hurting our
Yeah.
football. You know, whereas in rugby, no matter how much money you have, if you're not good, they're not going to take you. You
Yeah.
know,
And
in,
yeah.
in cricket, same thing. If you're not good, they're not going to take you. And okay, maybe good is too much of a broad term. If you're not willing to put in the work, you know, they're not going to take you, man. So, OFS, man, beautiful question, and you answered it, man. It has to do with race. It's
Yeah.
just,
No.
but
Yeah.
once again, sorry to interrupt you, X. Once again, it's like you said about history. You know, black people, there's a lack of resources within our community. So what
Mm.
we have, we try to hold on to, and we try to get more, and that hurts the development of certain industries, certain sports, certain people. So it's a double edged sword that one end has to break off in order for us to
Yo.
move forward.
I know, my G, you've said a mouthful because that's pretty much what I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about the resource element of things, you
Yeah,
know, because at the end of the
yeah,
day, look at West. Like, let's talk about our captain, Siak Olisi. We know Siak Olisi comes
yeah.
from
Humble.
adversity. Yeah, like extreme adversity to a point where at night there wouldn't be any food. They'd drink, he'd drink amans in a sugar, bruh, just
Yeah,
to keep his tummy full for a long period
yeah,
of time. I mean, he went to, uh, I think it was Gray College in Eastern Cape. Yeah.
yeah,
And Gray is a prestige school, very dope, produces a lot of rugby players in the Eastern Cape. And that's how he got into rugby and
yeah.
eventually making his debut for the Stormers at the age of 20. Because a lot of people don't understand, they don't know that Sia has been playing rugby, bro.
He's
He's been
been doing
playing.
this thing.
He's
Yeah,
been he's
yeah.
been playing this from the age of 20. He made his debut for the Stormers, and I mean, he eventually replaced like one of the best flankers in our in our history in
In
Schalk
our
Burger,
history, yeah,
bro. Yeah, Schalk Burger was like Schalk Burger. Schalk Burger has won RLP Player of the Year, bro. In 2004, he was the best rugby player in the world, bro. So
in the
it just
world,
shows
dog.
you,
Yeah,
yeah, and that's because of opportunity arose in that sphere. They took him
yeah.
out of the situation he was in, and then they molded him to being the man he is today. Right
Can I
now,
interrupt you, man?
yep,
I love
you
that
may,
you say they, because they is who? It was white people, man.
yeah,
You know,
dog.
they saw the talent and they were like, we
Yeah,
can't deny that this boy can play the game. Let us
yeah,
develop him, and look at him
yeah,
now, man. So
yeah. No,
that's
no, that's true, my G. Like like it is what it is, bro. And yeah, man, I just think that. Oh man, with us, man, like it's gonna be very difficult, for our football to get better, provided that not a lot of people who have good intentions are at the top. A lot of people who are at the top don't really have the intentions
preach, X,
of
preach.
yeah of actually improving our football. It's all about their
Yeah,
pockets first and then our football second. And man, like I still think I'm an optimistic person. You know me, Zweli,
I
right?
know. Yeah, I
Even
know you are.
even in the toughest situation, I do maintain a certain level of optimism. Because when you look at guys like Abo Pito Msimang, who people were like is gonna fail. Pito has went to Egypt. He has won trophies in Egypt. He's won the CAF 3 times. I think he has the most CAFs out of all the coaches in
Yeah,
Africa. He's won it 3 times. You know what I mean? And right now you can see Pito is pretty much trying to go to Europe. He's trying to say
yeah,
that, look, guys, I've conquered SA. I'm the most decorated coach in South Africa's history. I'm now in Egypt. I've won shit in Egypt. Now, who next minute Newcastle United hit him up. The Arabs be like, yo, pull through,
Take it to the
because
top.
clearly there's something he's doing that is right. I mean, I was
Yeah,
even telling my pops this, that there's something that this guy is doing that's right. You don't go to a country that they don't speak English in Egypt. Like they
yeah,
hardly speak it. As much as they were colonized by the English, but Arabs are proud of their heritage, they're proud of their
yes,
culture, and so they'll still maintain their values. And Homeboy still came in and built the team. And when he came in, a lot of people didn't believe that he could do it. I mean, he got a lot of backlash from the media in Egypt saying, like, who's this guy? What is he trying to do here in Egypt? And he
yeah.
came in and dominated, bro, and
He did
dominated
the thing.
nicely, bro. Yeah, so yeah, dog. Like for me, man, I just feel like, ish,
My problem is right.
yeah,
And X, you know me, man. Even when we're
yeah,
all sitting around on the
yeah,
weekend playing PlayStation, for example, I'm a
yeah,
football guy. I want to play FIFA. I don't have time for NBA. I don't have time for
yeah,
GTA.
yeah,
I love football. I always want to watch football. I always want to play football. My issue with what the higher ups are doing,
yeah,
I won't say names, is that they're making people fall out of love with the sport.
yeah,
Because and if anything, let's appeal to what they are chasing.
yeah,
No one's going to be buying football shirts anymore. No one's going to be wanting to go to stadiums anymore because the quality of the sport is decreasing. That's
yeah,
why support them. Look at Springboks. If the Springboks are playing, you have people who don't even know who's in the team wearing a Springbok shirt. Why?
yeah,
Because they believe in the team, the quality of the team. They know that okay, Springboks are gonna win. Springboks have been winning. Whereas every match day for Bafana, you hear a draw, a loss. It's
yeah.
turning people off. It's turning people off the
It
sport,
is.
and that's my concern. That one day there's going to be a huge gap or a huge gap in sports where people are just like, I don't even want to touch football, which is
Yeah.
it's unheard of because everyone
And
loves football. But
yeah,
yeah,
and even sponsors, bro. Sponsors would be like, nah, we wanna focus on teams that actually win or
when
teams
we're
that are
not speaking about
competitive.
Nike,
Yeah.
Adidas leaving, now we've got
Yeah.
Lecoq.
You see what I'm
But yeah,
saying?
man,
And not to say that Lecoq is a bad brand,
no,
it's
not at
not
all, not at
bad,
all.
but
We
it's
love
just not on the
Lecoq.
levels. Yeah, yeah. It's just not on the levels of your Nikes and your Adidas,
Yeah.
But yeah, man, Zweli, bro. Just trying to think, bro. Tonight, Atletico Madrid play Liverpool, bro. Yeah, man, like.
Viva Atleti! Viva Atleti! It's my
That's
team,
it.
baby.
I know,
Um,
right? You see, dog. So yeah,
I
man.
have a score
Tonight,
prediction. I have a score
yeah,
prediction.
I was gonna
I
ask you that.
honestly feel like the score is going to be 2-1. I could be wrong, but
Yeah,
I back my team. I back my team.
yeah. Because I feel like your team, Simeone is gonna just go ultra defensive, but like pug,
He has
like a
to.
serious double. Yeah,
We're playing against the now one of the best players in the world, if not the best.
yeah. I know that's true, bro. That is true. Like it is true, bro. Like I feel like um Liverpool right now, they are on fire. Salah looking like the best player in the world at the moment, playing like the best player in the world. Let me
Yes,
just say
sir.
that. He looks he's sharp and he's different from previous years. His decision making has been very refined this season. He's
Yeah.
not about himself anymore, but rather by he's for like the team developing as a whole and him contributing for the team. I'm not sure if you saw his assist for Mane this weekend.
Outside of the
That
foot,
my
woo,
G,
woo,
like it's
beautiful.
these are the things you see in Europe, bro. And
Yeah.
effortless things, bro. Yeah. But yeah,
Can't
in
wait for the game
closing,
tonight.
yeah, no, that's true, really, dog. In closing, I just wanted to ask you a question. Um, what's the difference between a coach and a manager,
Ooh, it's a
in
good
your
question,
opinion?
Nick.
Yeah,
It's a
what's the
good
difference
question.
between the two? Yeah,
Okay, I want to first of all say I think the higher the
yeah,
level, the
yeah,
change it changes from coach to manager. I want to say that personally, this is my definition, right?
yeah,
Because as a if you're at what amateur, semi-pro, you're still coaching, you're still refining certain players' attributes and characteristics and stuff like that. And then when you
yeah,
get to a level where now you're managing, now
yeah,
you're coaching players who are the full package, the full product. There's no
yeah,
more development. Now you have to manage him. You have to work to his strong suits, combinations, tactics. You're managing not only your team, but you're managing your
Yeah,
opponents, how your opponents are going to play against you. So that I think is like how I define a coach and a manager. It's just
yeah,
the level of football and what is expected and what they do. If you look at smaller teams in, for example, the Premier League, I'd say
yeah,
they probably still have coaches. When you look at big teams, I think they've got managers, because
yeah,
you're managing not only football, but you're managing personalities also. So
yeah,
that's
yeah,
just for a short answer. Yeah.
yeah. No, no, no. Like for me, you've answered it. Like for me, your answer is basically I was asking you a ten answer for 10 marks. You've answered five, so you've got 5 ticks. But can I just add on to that?
Of course, of course,
Like
of course.
I also feel like the difference is that when you look at, I'll use an example. Look at Sir Alex Ferguson. Part of the
Yes.
reasons why I always tell people, part of the reasons why Sir Alex Ferguson has been dominant for such a long period of time, for more than 20 years, pretty much, is that he's a very good man manager, but he always had a number two who dealt with the coaching aspects of the team,
Yeah.
and he always chopped and changed the number two depending on who his rival is at the
Yes.
time. So at the time in the 80s, yeah, we started winning shit from 86, right? And then we started winning Premier Leagues in the 90s. And then here comes a French guy named Arsene Wenger. He's a destroyer. He comes in, he starts dominating, bringing in Abu Patrick Vieira, making Ian Wright look nice. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
then all of a sudden now he's in trouble. His back is against the ropes. What he does is that he changes his number two again and gets
Yeah.
someone who pretty much understands how Wenger plays and knows how to counter what Wenger is
Yes.
doing. And then he went back to dominating again. And then a young Portuguese dude named who calls himself the
The
special one.
special. The
Yeah,
special one.
Mourinho comes in. Mourinho also then starts dominating. And then what does he do? He gets Carlos Queiroz. And he used to manage Bafana or Carlos Queiroz.
I remember that name.
Carlos
Yeah.
Queiroz, yeah, Carlos Queiroz comes through as a number two. He gets CR7, he gets Louis Nani, he gets Anderson. These are all Portuguese-based players. Of
Yeah.
course, Nani and Ronaldo are Portuguese, but Anderson played for FC Porto at the time, and then he brings them into the theater of dreams. And then he sells players like your David Beckham. He even sold Ruud van Nistelrooy in his prime, dog.
Yeah. I
In his
remember that.
prime, and then still was able to build. So Ofergi pretty much has built like 3 teams, dog, in his tenure, which is incredible, bro. Which is
Yeah.
incredible.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
for me, yeah, especially when I look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer right now, Solskjaer is neither of the two, in my opinion. He can't motivate top level players because he has never accomplished what those
Yeah.
players have accomplished. Like that's why even for United, I want us to get a guy like Zinedine Zidane because that Zidane is up
Zuzu.
there as a player. He was up there, and as a manager, he's also up there. You know what I mean? So it becomes very difficult for players who think they're bigger than the club to tell them what to do, and at the same time, he also is someone who's tactical. I think technically gifted players are the ones that turn into good managers. Because even with Pep wasn't like a world beater, but he did play with Ronald Koeman. He did play with big guys. He was a holding mid, a very quiet one, and yeah, he learned from the late, what's his name again? The guy from
Cruyff.
Ajax, bro. Cruyff. Yeah, he learned
Johan.
from Johan Cruyff because Cruyff managed him, and then total
Yeah.
football was a thing in Barca where we keep the ball and we retain it, and then it's just Pep had players at the time. When he came in at Barca, he inherited a squad that was already there, and
Yeah.
they were able to implement that
Probably the
strategy.
best football squad in the
Yeah,
football history.
yeah, bro. I can't argue with that when it comes to
Yeah.
those guys. Those guys were amazing. Yeah, 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 yeah. So yeah, Zweli, bro. Yeah, we've reached the end, bro. Like, we've actually spoken for quite a long time. But thank you so much, bro, for availing yourself. providing
Yes,
us
sir.
with quality input and dropping gems as usual, bruh. This reminds me of our remember when we went to work, bruh. We used to
Yeah, and when we're
have
in the
these sort
car
of
and we always talk
conversations.
about sports for
Yeah,
hours. Yeah,
for
yeah, I
hours,
remember that,
bro.
man.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Thank you so
yeah,
much for having me on the show, man. It really,
yeah.
it ole out.
Yeah, hey, what up, wavy? Hey, he ain't playing games, dog. He's just shooting,
um,
dog. He's a shooter.
but yeah, thank you so
Yeah,
much.
yeah,
I can't wait to be on the show again. I hope I'm on the
yeah.
show again.
Definitely,
Love your
dog.
show, man, and I'm gonna keep watching it, bro. Keep doing your thing.
Thank you so much, guys. Please like, share, comment, subscribe to the channel. This is the goalpost, and we out. Peace.